G'day colleagues in the old Faculty of Business Schools. Just a short video to point out a few things to look out for when you're preparing your 2017-30 subject outlines. But before we jump into that, just wanted to remind you of all the resources available on the Learning and Teaching Wiki. That's bjbs-share.csu.edu.au. Just type in subject outlines into the search engine and it takes you to this homepage, where you've got a plethora of resources, links to various supports. One particularly helpful document is the overview of the template, which gives you an outline of every section, every subsection, whether it's authored, mandatory, etc., etc. So that's a helpful resource to look out for. There's also an interactive organisation site called Subject Outline Preparation Guidelines, and that gives you a lowdown on every section again, but the sorts of things that you might want to think about writing in those sections, and you can see that there. Okay, the first thing to look out for is a very minor one, and it only applies if you created your subject outline before the 24th of November. We've got a tiny typo here in this auto text in consultation procedures. If you started your subject outline after 24th of November, you won't see this, but if you started beforehand, all you need to do is hit the auto refresh button here, and it'll come up with a warning. Click OK, and we've fixed the typo there. The next one is down, to look out for is down in subject and assessment schedule. Now, the Faculty Business template we've been using for the last year and a half or so got rid of this heading subject content, but unfortunately it's back and it's a mandatory section. So if you leave this blank, there'll be nothing. There'll be a heading with nothing underneath it. So and we can't change it for 2017-30. So given it, we got rid of it because it essentially duplicates information that's in the schedule. I'm recommending you just type in something like this. I'm just going to cut and paste in from somewhere else. Information regarding the subject's content is outlined above in the schedule, and leave it at that, because really essentially feel free to write something more, but that's all I think you need to say. The third one to look out for is down in subject delivery, and this is a little bit of a pain. Now, when they map things across, the learning, teaching and support strategies in our template was a more major heading, and as a result that's blank. It hasn't pulled across the data for all the information from that learning, teaching, support strategies in our old section, and I'll just show you the AC 568 session 2 section that I'm talking about, and it's really this material here under the how you expected to engage with the subject. So unfortunately you're going to need to cut and paste, which is what I'll do. I'll just get that out of the way and go into this learning, teaching and support strategy section and cut and paste, and it's in there, and of course you can edit as you like. The next one, the fourth one, is probably the biggest pain in the bum. That's because in the new template there's no appendix where we used to have our sample exam. We were pretty much the only schools that had a sample exam. So what we're recommending is going into the exam assessment item itself, going into the edit function, and inserting in the requirements section a hyperlink to the DOMS collection. So let's just jump to DOMS here, and we've got an opportunity to contribute. The good news is, and let's just go down to the Faculty of Business, Justice, Behavioural Sciences collection, and here we go. Here, click on subject, and you've got a whole bunch of options. Now my subject AC 568 is not listed there, so I'm going to need to type in or create my own one, AC 568, and we talk about the term code. It's 2017-30. Campus is not important, but I'm at Bathurst. Distance mode, and we've already got a folder set up for sample exams, so you just click that, and then we're off and racing in terms of finding the link. So we go to add a resource. Let's go to my good old Dropbox, AC 568 sample exam, and we go to next, and save it. And we've now got fill in the rest of the details. So accounting, subjects, author, my own name as the author. Add that, and add a bit more information there. We're now in a position to save. We've got the option to publish, so we hit publish. And we've now got a link to the resource. Now, the easiest thing to do, okay, we can now copy the link. We go copy shortcut. Go back to our MSI, type in something like click here for sample exam, highlight that text, go to the link button, paste in the URL, and there we go. We've got a hot link from the exam to DOMS. We go down to the bottom and save again, and we're out of that section. The next one's down in assessed information, and it's a bit like that first one where if you created the subject outline before the 24th of November, you're going to have this issue. They've got mention of the Faculty of Business here, and of course that no longer applies. So again, if you hit auto refresh, then it should remove that information. So and you can see that that's been removed. The sixth and second last one again is in assessment information, and it's another section that's been brought back in the new template, which we removed from the old Faculty Business template, and that's feedback. Again, if you leave it blank, you'll just have a blank heading. So you need to think about what you put in here. Two options. One is to copy and paste from a 2015-30 or earlier subject outline when we used to have that information in here, or you can write a brief sentence, relevant sentence from scratch. So I'm going to whack in something that I prepared earlier, just a simple sentence, which hopefully should do the job. So the completed marking criteria table with accompanying comments we provided with each returned assignment, which clearly shows how the students' marks are determined. So save that. Now, one new section which I almost forgot about was this one, changes and actions based on previous student feedback. It's another mandatory section, and if you leave it blank, it's going to look a little bit ordinary. So you do need to think about, based on previous student or subject evaluation surveys from previous offerings of the subject, what has been done in this session to respond to those changes. Now, there's guidelines in the subject outline preparation guidelines, but again, I'm just going to add in something that I prepared earlier, which hopefully makes sense, cutting straight to the chase, some of the things that I've considered doing to make changes to the subject in response to that feedback, and save it there. And the last thing to look out for is down in student feedback and learning analytics, and specifically this section is called learning analytics in this subject. There's a sentence here which, unless you've got some solid past analytic data on which you've made some changes, I'm recommending that you delete this. It doesn't make sense as is anyway, but you can think about that for future reference. Click save, and we're done. Hopefully that's of some use. Thanks very much.